Okay, within this exercise we're going to do practice 6A, which is working with curtain walls. So open up the new file, and we want to open up the elevations of building elevation south view. And we can see the windows that you put on in the last exercise. And we want to just hide some of these things. So let's select one grid line, one column, and one level line, and then let's right click on them and then go hide view, and we want to hide all those categories. There we go. So we're now just seeing the building itself. Right, now we want to realign some of this stuff, so we want to select the 3 parapet walls, and then in the properties box here we want to adjust something to the base offset. Let's go -610, and then again we want to select the 3 curtain walls just using the control button and picking them. And then again, changing that so that it pops up to the top. While we've still got them selected, we want to change the horizontal offset. Okay, so we can come down here, the horizontal offset, we want to adjust there. So what does this do? Instead of the pattern being justified, the horizontal pattern being justified from the bottom, it's offset 1220 up from the base. Now it should look like just what you've got in your manual there. Right, so we're going to task number 2, adding the grid lines. And we'll need to add some grid lines to match up with some other parts of the building as well. So we want to zoom into the bottom here. And some of these I can't really see, so let's just go thin lines and we can see them a bit better. And we want to select the grid line. So we want to select the grid line so the little line that gets, it's like a little dashed blue line. So we can pick on that, and then we can then unpin it. It's a little drawing pin there, we want to unpin that. And then what we want to do is go to the modify tool, we want to use the align command. We want to align it with the bottom of this. Okay, so there's one of those done. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add some more curtain grids. So we've got one there that we used. So we can go to the architecture tab and we want to use the curtain grid command. And let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and if I want to turn on, let's go consistent color. No, that doesn't really help me. But there's a little bit of a reveal here. See that little bit there? We want to move the grid to match that. So again, we say we want to align the top of that. Here it is there. There's a reveal. So to the top of that, we want that one there to align. And there's a reveal to the top of that. And that gives us our 3 panels plus the bottom one. And then we want to then select these 4, and then we want to move them down 20 millimeters. And we want to pan over to the right here. We want to do the same thing to these pieces as well. So how about we unpin these? How about we use the align command? And being really smart here, how about we select them and then we can either copy them up, or for the sake of doing it, how about we get used to using the curtain grid command and put some more in here. Okay, and we get used to using the align command, so we say we want to align these two up. Okay, we do the same thing for the end panel as well. Now they're all aligned. Okay, so on task 3 we're going to modify some mullions now. So what we want to do is we want to go to the Architecture tab, and right below the Curtain Grid command there's the Mullion command. So we want to click on that, and there's 3 options of actually placing the mullions. One at a time, one row at a time, one little segment at a time, or everything. We want to try the everything, the all grid lines. And we want to make sure, yep, that's a 50 by 150. And then as we hover over our curtain wall, a little grid pops up. And they get all added. So there they are there. So we come over to this one here, we do the same thing where we can see it selecting all the curtain wall. Let's put them on, and that one there, the same thing. Yep, we want to pick that. And if we zoom in, we can see them all. Now, as we see the difference between the one curtain panel and the next, sometimes they double up these little mullions, and we need to remove them. Okay, so we can select one of them. So to select one of them, we can just select it. It goes a little bit blue being selected. And then, just so that we can see all the mullions, let's go and isolate something. So we go to the little sunglasses, and we want to isolate the category so that all that we're seeing curtain wall mullions. So then we want to delete that one there. We want to select that one. We want to delete that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. Delete that one. Okay, so there's one mullion. Okay, so there's that double up done. Okay, so there's another double up here. Oh, that's the wrong one. So we want to keep them correct, keep them to one side only. Okay, now once we've done what we want to undo this temporary hide isolate. So okay, we go down to sunglasses and we go reset. It goes back to being normal. Now we want to have a look at these mullion connections here. Some of them are right and some of them are wrong. So again, we want to select a mullion. Let's isolate that category. And what we want to do is, the verticals typically are good, but the horizontals, we want the horizontal one to be overriding, not the vertical one. So to change these, we can select the vertical, and then click the little button, click the little symbol, select a mullion, and then click the little funny symbol. And then there they are all done. And we want to do the same thing with the top mullions. Okay, so we go to the top, we do the same thing. And then again, we want to then go to the sunglasses and reset it so we see the rest of the building again. Okay, so task 4, we want to add the storefront entrance. We can't really do it very well in elevation, so we want to go to a plan view. So we'll go to the first floor plan. And let's go to the wall command. Come down here and we want to select our storefront. Okay, then we want to have a look at the offsets here. And we want to go up to the second floor. We want to go minus 1850 from the second floor. And then we want to come along here, and between these two columns, we want to then draw some of the wall. So let's just draw a little bit. Right, so now to make sure it's got the right offsets, we can select this. Okay, I want it to be 4 meters long. Okay, then we can do a little dimension. Okay, we can make sure that that is correctly. Let's select the dimension, delete it. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure it's actually facing the right way. So we can select the curtain wall, and any wall, these little double arrows should always point to the outside. So the outside is the brick face, so let's point to the outside. And just to make sure it looks pretty good, we'll go to the south elevation again, and bang, there it is there. Okay, now, because this is a preset style, we want to unpin some of the stuff. So let's just do a little crossing window. We want to select everything. We want to unpin things. So the unpin command, the little button is there. The shortcut is up. So UP. Once we've unpinned it, everything is unpinned. And what we want to do is we want to start to modify these things. So what we want to do is we want to align this grid with, let's say, this mullion on top, so it looks like the curtain wall on this side. So how about we use our align command, and we can align from the center of that grid and the center of that grid. That's pretty good to me. And then we can, to get the grid lines here, what we can do is we can hover over, hit tab, so we can hover over it, tab, tab, select the grid line, and then for the temporary dimensions, and do the same thing for the next one, hover over it, go tab, tab, select, type in something for the temporary dimension. Okay, so task number 5, we're going to be adding a door to the storefront. Okay, so these are special doors, so they're not part of this project, so we'll load them in. So previously we had the door command, but we're going to load these in. So what we're going to do is go to the Insert tab. We want to load it. Choose the Load Family command, and then from our class library that you guys have got, we want to load in the curtain wall store front double. We click Open. We will then load it into the project. Now to make this door, we don't use the door command. We actually need to just swap out what is in effect a piece of glass for a piece of glass that looks like a door. So what we need to do first is we need to hover over and we need to select the piece of glass. Now it might be a bit difficult, so what we can do is we can hover over one of the mullions and just push tab, tab, and then pick, and then we can pick the piece of glass that we want to swap out. So we can pick that piece, and then from our type selected the properties palette, we can then come along here and we want to swap it out from a piece of glass to the storefront double door. We want to pick out, and it looks like that. Now, we don't want to have a little step at the bottom of the door. So what we can do is we can hover over and we can select that mullion, and then we can then delete it so the door goes right down to the floor finish. And that's it. Looks pretty good.